Welcome to The Robbie Rowe Show. I am your host, Robbie Rowland. You are listening to episode 67 with Nick Pollack. Let's hear a soundbite from Nick.
And the other fact is that it will elongate players' careers. You have now 15 more teams that you can hit on because they need a DH. That's a good thing. That's very good. If you want to talk about pushing the mound back and making more offense, then add a DH. It's that simple.
Listening to Clear the Mechanism. The Robbie Rowe Show. The Robbie Rowe Show.
Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy, Robbie Rowland here on The Robbie Rowe Show, episode 67. How is everybody doing today? That's awesome. Great to hear it. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Anyways, it's episode 67. I'm actually recording this introduction on St. Paddy's Day, so happy belated St. Paddy's Day. I don't know if that's a thing that people say. But anyways, I have Nick Pollack on the show today. For those of you who do not know Nick, he is the creator of Pitcher List. And for those of you who do not know what Pitcher List is, I highly encourage you to go check it out right now. Pitcherlist.com or Instagram Pitcher List or Twitter Pitcher List. I came across what they were doing on Twitter at Pitcher List, like I said. Yikes, that was bad. Anyways, got in contact with him, loved what he was doing, and wanted to chat. So this episode may be a little bit different than how I usually go about my episodes, but it's really just a conversation with Nick and I, talk a little bit about his brand that he's created, the evolution of it. It went from Pitcher Gifts and then went to Pitcher List. He's got an interesting story of how the MLB contacted him. And anyways, I won't spoil any of it. Make sure you listen to it during this show. But it's a fantastic episode. Really, it's the first time that I've actually ever talked fantasy baseball on my podcast. So it was fun for me too, just to talk to someone that's like-minded, very passionate about baseball, passionate about pitching, really creates a relationship with all these players due to the constant writing of articles and writing of just different highlights throughout the course of the season. And it's interesting to hear, honestly, I kind of say it over and over again on the show, but to hear how things of that nature start. So as far as his brand and his website, how it started and then how it's constantly evolved. I just love hearing stories like that. It started with him in his bedroom, just with a whiteboard, just jotting down ideas. And now he's got, I want to say it's 80 people working at Pitcher List, man. And what he's doing over there is so cool. So definitely excited to bring you guys this episode. So I want to thank a sponsor of today's show, Big League Edge, with the Velo Pro harness. We partnered up to bring you guys a little discount on the Velo Pro harness. For those of you who do not know what the harness is, you can either check out my Instagram page. I've posted a couple times about the harness, but you can also go into the show notes. There'll be links in the show notes of the sponsor of the episode. That's where you'll find a website in which you can kind of learn more about the harness itself. Or you can also check out episode 11 of The Robbie Rowe Show, in which I had one of the creators on the pod, and we talked all about the Velo Pro belt and its several benefits and why we believe that not only pitchers but hitters should also use it. I used this belt throughout the course of the 2018 season, and for me, it was very beneficial. So I enjoyed it. I will obviously say good things about it, and if you want to do your own research, I'm sure you can find it on Instagram or Twitter or Google, but I know a lot of people are using it these days. So what I can do for you is I can supply you guys with a 15% discount on the Velo Pro belt if you are interested. If you are interested and you want to get that 15% discount, you're going to have to do a little bit of work. So you either Instagram direct message me to receive that discount, or you can contact me via email. My email is simple. It's contactrobbierow@gmail.com. So contact ROBBYROW@gmail.com. So shoot me an email and let me know if you do want to receive that discount. And if you don't, then no hard feelings. But yeah, cool, sweet, awesome, great, grand, wonderful. All right, let's get to this episode. Thank you guys for being listeners and for putting up with my terrible introductions. Well, let's hope you guys enjoy this episode with Nick Pollack and I. We're live, by the way. We just hit record. Welcome to the Robbie Rowe Show, everybody. And my special guest today is Nick Pollack. Nick, welcome to the show, dude. How is your day going so far?
What is happening? Thanks so much for having me today. I just had a great 15 minutes chatting with you.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say we should have just hit record like when we started the call.
Right? So my day is going great.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, baseball's in the air, so how could we not be doing good, right? I mean,
right, exactly.
Good slate of games on. Yeah, I'm loving it, dude. So Nick, dude. So I mean, I kind of gave you an outline before we hopped on here, dude. But I personally am just very curious as far as like your personal background. Obviously, you're the creator of Pitcher List, and that's Pitcher List, not pitchers or pitcher lists. Just to clarify for our listeners, you're the creator of this, and it's. I mean, dude, when I came across your Twitter page, I was like, oh my gosh, like what else do I need? You know, like this is everything I've ever wanted. So I'm curious, man. Like, what is your background as far as like how? Obviously, you have a passion for baseball, but how did you kind of come to the idea of like, you know what, I'm going to create this brand and just go with baseball?
Well, first of all, that you have that feeling on our Twitter page is exactly right. That's what we're going for right now.
Dude. Love it.
It's changed a lot over the years, and I guess how it started. I was a pitcher in high school and college at Brandeis University and Berkeley Carroll High School, same high school as Adam Ottavino.
There you go.
And I always thought that this is what I was going to do. I was just going to pitch forever. Yeah. I didn't even care about hitting. I remember I had to hit all of a sudden my senior year, and I did fine. I hit a home run. Surprised myself.
Claim to fame.
You know, sure, it was 300-foot fences, but it was well over it. That's what they told me because I thought the ball was caught. But yeah, I went to college. I pitched for 3 years. I became the fireman there. To my chagrin, I felt that I had the full repertoire and all, but it worked out. It worked out in that way. I had a great time at Brandeis. And afterwards, I kind of understood that this was the end for me. I had terrible mechanics. And I guess on best day, I was still like 84, even though I'm 6'4" and lanky and all that. And I still just didn't have it all there. So I understood that it wasn't going to happen for me. I actually thought I was going to play guitar for the rest of my life.
What?
And realized that was a stupid dream. So eventually it came to be 2013 or so. I'm working at a company where I run their website for them. I get to work at home. And I saw a GIF for Matt Harvey's fastball, and it was a slow motion of it getting the corner. I think if you actually Google Matt Harvey's fastball gets the corner, you'll see this GIF, this grainy thing from 2013. And I had been doing pitching instruction for 2 years, travel baseball coaching as well. And I thought to myself, man, I would love to just have this, just to be able to look at GIFs all day of pitchers throwing nasty pitches.
Yes.
This is a thing that
I'm happy I'm not the only one.
Appreciated enough. Right? It's become so obvious now.
Right.
And there used to be a segment with Baseball Tonight. That's nasty. Right?
That's nasty, dude. Yes.
That's nasty. I think that's what it was. Yeah. So that was like the only thing we ever got.
Yeah.
Was just that. And so I thought, you know what? I know how to make WordPress sites at this point. I can figure out how to make GIFs. I'm a tech guy. I can do this. And I just started, I think like November of 2013, starting to make every GIF of every pitcher in the majors.
Oh, geez. So it started that long ago. Crap. I didn't realize that. 2013.
And it launched as pitcher GIFs in 2014. And it blew my mind, the reception. I put it up on Red and Our Baseball. I think we got something like in the first 24 hours, 40,000 hits or something.
Oh, wow.
And I had no idea what I was doing. I hosted the GIFs on our WordPress site themselves, which if anyone that has ever run a site says, oh, no, do not do that.
Dude, it's terrible.
Because
so
the bandwidth is horrible.
So slow.
Yeah. It shut down the site in like an hour with Reddit. But everyone knew it existed. Everyone said, whoa, this is a really cool thing. And from there, I realized, okay, cool, outsource the GIFs, do all this kind of stuff, changing a lot of the stuff on the site. And then about 2 months into the season, I believe it was around like May 15th or so, That was when Jose Fernandez had Tommy John surgery, and we were all really sad about it. And I put out an article about the best pitches he had thrown that year, and MLB saw it and sent me a cease and desist.
What? What is that? So what does that mean?
No,
What does that mean for the people that don't know what that would even mean?
Essentially, that one of the paralegals sent me a thing saying, "Hey, we don't want you doing this, etc." Pretty much citing copyright claims and all that stuff. And they actually thought that I was doing audio and video, essentially retransmitting the broadcast. And I very much believe what we do is fair use, and not to mention very beneficial for MLB.
Right. Someone's got to market
incredibly
it.
So. Yeah, we're essentially saying, hey, these things happen, and you should be more enthused about these players, and you should watch them and go to games and stuff. I know firsthand, me doing this, that I all of a sudden care about all these pitchers that I would never have really heard of.
Right. And
I mean, I've been talking about Matt Strom for the past 3 years. And I would never do that, you know. So essentially, I didn't know what I was doing. I took the whole site down. I understood, I respected what they wanted. And so that shut down in 2014. I brought it back without the gifts in 2015 for analysis. I realized I wanted people to, well, there was 2 things. One, I realized, oh, yeah, people should come back to the site for some reason. Maybe I should have some written content. And, of course, I've been playing fantasy baseball since forever. So, and I like to think that I have maybe a better idea of pitching because I was a pitcher myself, and I would be able to watch things and understand what is sticky and what isn't.
Right.
So I started this article every single night. It's the SP Roundup. It's every single starter from the night before and my thoughts about them. And that's for fantasy purposes. Yeah, it sounds like a lot.
Dude, it is a lot. Not just sounds like a lot. That is a lot. Holy heck. Man, oh man. I'm like exhausted when I do like 2 games, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so much work. You're just crushing it, dude. Wow.
Well, I mean, it's so much fun because a lot of these guys do, well, a lot of the time they do exactly the same.
You're so right.
And it's pretty easy to say, okay, they're doing exactly the same. We don't need to say anything, in which I do a ridiculous joke for them. For example, like Luis Chassin, I would always say, Chassin would do well when you least expect it, and that would be it. Right? Terrible joke. And that's exactly what you should expect in these SP roundups. So I'm writing them at 1 a.m. every night.
Dude, let me ask you a question, though, because I want to know if I'm weird or not. Do you like create, without even knowing the person, by just like watching them over and over again and then writing about them, do you create like some sort of like relationship with them without like them knowing that?
Of course.
Dude, I'm the same way. It's so crazy.
I have so many pictures. I love them all.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
They're all my children.
Right.
I don't hate any of them.
My gift children.
I just always want them to succeed. You
know?
I'm
glad I'm not weird. Thank you for that.
Oh, of course not. No, you're a pitcher, man.
Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah.
We get this. But yeah, 2015, I brought it back with the idea of, hey, I'll do a top 100 list every Monday, ranking them. Because doing the SP Roundup, I understood a lot of these pitchers all of a sudden. I got really close to them and had an internal ranking, but actually never gave it on the site prior. Mm-hmm. So rebooted it as pitcher list instead of pitcher gifts, changed it from red to blue as our signature color.
There you go.
Real shift.
Oh yeah, you're crazy, dude.
And then that rolled through 2015. 2016 came along. I think we brought back the gifts, and that's when we started doing a podcast. We added more people to the team. Alex Fast emailed me out of nowhere, and I said, and pretty much from him, he was like, "All right, let's do a podcast together." And that's what On the Corner is now. And it's incredible what that's become.
Yeah,
but it's just. Over time, I mean, so many people have just kind of reached out and joined the team, and it's been remarkable. I mean, Ben Palmer sent me an email one night, and he's been with us for over 2 years now. We have Ben Pernick, who's been there from the beginning, actually when it was pitcher gifts, writing with us. And the fact that we have, I mean, it's just every year we take steps forward, adding more team members. 2017, we had about 20 writers. 2018, we did a whole revamp of the website. And then we had 40 writers, and then this past year we have, I think, 60 to 80 writers. Going with closer to 90 or so plus in the back end total.
Dude, so do you want to hear something funny? So there's certain days like where I'm on Twitter, right? And I'm seeing like everything y'all are posting on Twitter. And I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm gonna top pitcher list. Like I'm gonna beat him to the punch on every video, and I'm gonna beat him to the punch on this. And now I don't feel as bad knowing that y'all got like freaking 300
we have so many
robots over there typing.
It's crazy. The thing is, they're not robots. I actually, every single person here I do a one-on-one interview with.
Oh man.
And these people are incredible. What I have to get from them is understand that they are as passionate and psycho as I am. Dude, you have to have a special breed of caring about this.
So true. Dude, y'all, I mean, they're killing it. I mean, y'all are killing it, man. Like each and every article that I read, like it's not, because you know how it is, dude. Sometimes it can get monotonous and you kind of just, maybe there's one article that you go through the motions on, right? Maybe there's just that one where it's like at the end of the day, definitely. And it's the 7 o'clock game on the West Coast, you know, and you're grinding. And dude, that's the one thing I noticed right away, you know, from just looking at your website and looking at, you know, the stuff that y'all are producing over there. And it was like, gosh, every single thing that y'all are putting out is just authentic, and it's real, and it's freaking from top to bottom. It's just solid. So, dude, congratulations on,
I appreciate
on
that,
literally
man. Thank
everything. You. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are killing it.
Really, I got to say, it's just the faith in the staff. I mean, the fact that they want to be a part of this and create this site is just mind-blowing to me.
100%.
And it just started with me in this bedroom in November 2013 of just wanting a pitch and gift site, and it's so much more than that now.
I think the creator of Amazon said the same thing, right? Or was it Garage?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, it was Steve Jobs and Wozniak in their garage for Apple.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that.
Those guys are smarter than me.
But that's kind of the story of it. I mean, since then, I've Paul Sporer believed in me, and he brought me into rotographs, which I'm incredibly thankful for. That was in the summer of 2017 that he did that. Jonah Carey has let me help him out during his playoff articles, and every so often he comes to me to help out with pitching stuff, which I still just cannot believe. Neil Greenberg at Washington Post gave me an opportunity to write for them for a little bit. So it's just been here and there, just taking steps forward. And it's kind of crazy where we are now. And hopefully we can do a lot more things.
Oh, yeah, forward. Dude. Just keep going, man. Growth mindset all the way for sure, dude. So I want to ask, like, I'm curious now. You like when you were in school, you weren't like a journalist major or like you didn't have. Okay, so that's interesting to me because you write good.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just blowing smoke because you know it makes me look good on my show.
I remember in there it is. I remember 7th grade. My English teacher. Apparently, my parents told me a story of being like in the parent teacher conference there. And then being so worried about my writing. And my professor, or my teacher, rest his soul, wonderful man, Edward Martin, would just nod his head and say, it will come. It will come. Just keep it up. And I remember looking back at those bad papers. Oh, my Lord. I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh,
I don't know when. I just got to keep doing it. And I will say, you know, reading guys like Jeff Sullivan and Grant Brisbee and Jonah Carey and Eno Saris, et cetera, recognizing what they do well. Ben Lindbergh, incredible writer. That's kind of where this came out a bit. I mean, I wouldn't even come close to those guys, I think.
Right.
But yeah, I was a psych major, computer science minor.
Okay.
In college. I actually avoided papers. I just took written tests.
Yeah, it sounds so much better. Dude,
it's a lot more straightforward.
That's funny, dude, because like even me, it's funny how. Because my whole thing is just finding passion, I think, you know, if you want to take like a philosophical approach, because when I was in school, like there were certain times, I think the only reason I enjoyed like writing a paper sometimes was because I got to use like my parents' laptop or computer, whatever they had back then. I always thought that was so cool because the buttons made a cool noise and I was like, all right, I'll write. Yeah. But I never enjoyed writing. But now it's like if I'm doing like one of my, you know, pitch sequencing posts or like a blog post on something, like I love it. I love it, dude. Like sometimes I almost love it too much to where I probably type too much and people kind of check out because it's so much and it probably doesn't need to be. But it's just funny how it kind of comes full circle. It comes full circle like that. You know, how like when you look back at yourself in school and you're like, how did I get to where I am like now? Like, you know what I mean? So like, I just think it's funny how I'm kind of taking on that nerd type mantra right now.
Hey, nerds are cool now.
They're in. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, I mean, that roundup article I do, I look back at the early ones, terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's your opinion, right? Because those probably hit off. Like, I mean, those were probably really good to a lot of people.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But I do call that my lifeblood now. Like, I feel like I have to do that during the season. I feel weird in the off season not writing
an obligation
every day.
Yep.
So so I'm really much looking forward to that. I guess I get to do one a week from today. I get to do my first one because of the Japan series.
Oh, that's right. So that's in a week.
That's gonna be fun. That's in a week. I'm waking up early and watching that. Of course.
You're so dedicated. So that's amazing.
Yeah, come on, man. It's baseball. It's like baseball.
Yeah, no, you're right. Especially in Japan.
Oh man.
I love it, dude. So for my listeners, man, I want to real quick because I totally forgot. I'll probably mention in the pre-roll, but so what I got from you so far as your links and stuff, and I'll link all this in the show notes so the guys can go and check that out right away. But on the podcast you guys have it's called On the Corner. You can find that on Apple Podcasts and where else?
Yeah, it's pretty much all over the place.
Okay, perfect.
iTunes and Stitcher and Android, all that kind of stuff.
On the Corner, got it. And then your website, pitcherlist.com, and that's the same as your Twitter. And are you on Instagram?
Yeah, we are on Instagram. Yes.
Is that the next evolution for you guys?
We're exploring doing more with Instagram. We actually are wondering the possibilities of us doing live streamed content more. Because I think that's a ton of fun, and the internet has made that incredibly easy these days. And
Instagram algorithm loves it, by the way. Yeah,
noted.
So like, I mean, we'll probably talk. Once we get off the show, we'll geek out a little bit more on some stuff. But
good.
Yeah, I think Instagram's where it's at, man. I mean, obviously Twitter's great and all that stuff, but. Dude, this is fun, man. So I want to dive into like some fantasy baseball because I don't really I don't get to do a whole lot of that, honestly. Like all my stuff is very like technical, and so I want you. I think you mentioned while we were recording something about a hot take, or maybe that was off record. But what is your 2019 hot take? Like what? I forget now what you called it with AJ Pollack. You called it something, but I want to hear your 2019.
Oh yeah, bold prediction.
I want to hear your 2019 bold prediction. If you have one of them.
All right, so I have every year we do 10 of them on the site. I mean, a lot of the staff, we encourage anyone who wants to can just make 10 bold predictions and put them up on Pitcher List.
Uh-huh.
And so I always do. I do 10. One is always some joke, like I think I said in the pre-roll with you, or before we recorded, rather, that I expected AJ Pollack to change his last name to ACK instead of OCK, because that is the correct way of spelling it. No. So some of the fun ones that I have for this year is I expect not expect them, but the hot take is double the amount of 200 inning pitchers this year from last year.
And how many did we have last year?
Only 13.
We did. Okay. All right.
And I really believe, I think that this is the biggest thing I'm preaching this offseason or preseason, is that the amount of pitching depth is so much larger than people think there is. It's making a lot of people in the fantasy world feel like they need to go heavy on pitching in their earlier rounds. I'm saying no, don't do that. Just go for maybe for one if you need to and get a ton of hitting, because there's so much pitching to be had and so many pitchers that I think can go 200 frames this season.
Ooh.
So that's my hot take, is I expect the double the amounts.
So I mean, like a legitimate double too. Like you're not talking about like maybe a couple more guys. You're talking like potentially 25 or more guys throwing 200 plus.
Well, 25 total then. But this is a bold prediction.
This is bold, man. Especially in 2019.
This is supposed to be right, exactly. Especially with people throwing relievers all over the place. Well, they did just come out with that new rule.
It's official now, right?
Right.
They can minimum
of three batters.
That's amazing.
So maybe that doesn't encourage it as much.
I wonder if that will affect it. You know what? I wonder how that will affect the starters. I'm very curious now because, there's a lot of situations in which the starter gets through like 2/3 of that top inning and then they bring in the one guy, So do you know if the rule varies for coming in the middle of an inning, or does it just stays constant?
That's what I was going to ask. I would imagine that's for the interruption of an inning. So if you get like the last out of an inning, that's okay.
And you're good. You can come out of the game.
Right. That's my expectation, because this is all about shortening games.
Right.
So they don't care if the same guy comes out or not. It's just that the interruption in the middle of it, that 3 minutes or whatever you want to say, 2 minutes for them to come in and warm up and all that. They want to remove as much as possible.
Huh.
So that might make an impact. That might not.
I'll be curious to see. Yeah,
it's really obviously the 6th inning is the inning that we are talking about here.
Right.
And if they think like, oh, they might not pull them at 5.1 now, or go send them out, start the 5th if they think they're going to pull them early. I don't know. That's very interesting. And we'll see if it does have any ramifications.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking of like my bold prediction now, and what do you got on all of these MLB rule changes and all this scufflebutt about the rule changes increasing the popularity of Major League Baseball as a bold prediction?
I mean, I don't really think that's going to have any impact on its popularity, unfortunately.
All right, man, shoot me down. I pop my balloon, dude.
I'm so sorry, but I mean, the little things they're doing is just trying to keep it shorter, but it's not going to. The main things about the popularity of sport is about getting the youth involved and getting them excited about the players, and we're not really in that situation right now. I mean, I did actually talk to a friend of mine. His son was in tears after finding out that Bryce Harper wasn't signing with the Nationals again.
Oof.
Which is, I gotta say, I know I feel terrible saying this, but I'm glad to hear that story.
I know. I feel like baseball fans should be.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's the kind of stuff that should exist. And these kind of rule changes aren't going to be that difference. It really needs to be the players being those role models and being so much more of a face. And when you think of, I mean, we say it all the time, like, no one knows who Mike Trout is. Dude. But they know who LeBron James is. They know who Tom Brady is. Yes. And that's your problem. Yes. Is you have to instill that from a young age and understand that popularity. And that's really where it's going to come from. I don't know. I don't have the entire plan on my whiteboard over here of how to do that. But that's really, if I see any sort of changes there, that's when I might start believing that it'll change.
Yeah, that's something that, because I bring on, I don't know if you've seen any of like my other podcast episodes, because I have a different segment with Jack Flaherty, and that's something that, like, I think it was our most recent episode. We both went in on that, dude. That was we talked about how, like, I think MLB, they do a good job of marketing from like the outside looking in as far as like what they're doing on social media and all that stuff. But dude, you hit it on the head, and that's something that we talked about was how is NBA like so popular to the point where like all of these players are globally recognized, and why does it vary when it comes to baseball? Like I just don't understand that. So like now I have to create a blueprint on how to increase the popularity for the players and make an article on Pitcher List. So I'll put that. Put that on the to-do list. So let's. All right. So we got a bold prediction from you. Mine was shot down very drastically. Got it. And then
I'm so sorry.
Okay. So we were on the subject of rule changes, but I don't know if I got your opinion on it. Where do you stand? Is it kind of like whatever, or is it, wow, that affects the game drastically?
No, I think the thing is very interesting. Really, the only one that's, well, okay, the two that are significant to me are the no waiver trades in August.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love this because it means that July 31st is even more exciting. There are a lot of times that we felt that trades weren't happening because people were still waiting out.
Everyone knew that too, right? Like as fans, we were like, okay, it's the trade dedeadline, but it's the quote.
But is it really?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but now it's going to be so much fun. Oh man, I kind of want to do like a live streaming event of just the entire take the day off and just
dude, yeah,
and just talk about it like a live ticker. We have breaking news in here, you know. Oh, that would be
the Orioles traded their janitor to the Giants for cash and a soda can.
And now he's got a new cutter and he's killing it.
Exactly.
Janitor.
I love it.
Oh man,
you're right though. I think that's going to create a lot more buzz around that actual deadline date. It's going to be fun to watch.
I can't wait for that. The 6 mound visits to 5, I don't really think are going to have impact. I think they're only maybe like 1 or 2 times the entire year that people use all 6. Yeah. So I'm okay with them pulling back on it. I was actually someone trying to encourage people to use more mound visits because I feel like there are definitely scenarios where they could have used it and they didn't, and they should have been more liberal with it. Mm-hmm. Now it's a little bit more interesting, but I don't think it's going to have a massive impact on what we saw last year.
Yeah.
And then there's the what's the one I'm forgetting here?
Bullpen 3 minimum. We already pretty much hit on that.
We got that one, but there was I just want there to be a DH in both leagues.
Yeah, that's not final though, right?
No, it is not. And
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that one because I can't wait. I'm sick of seeing pitchers getting
This is
pulled out
interesting.
before they should.
This is
I'm sick
you're
of
the
pitchers
first
getting
guy
hurt.
on my show to say that, by the way.
I don't understand. I don't understand why this romanticism of this is being represented by like 3 players. Okay, we all love laughing at Cologne swinging a bat. We all love seeing Bumgarner smack a home run off of Kershaw.
Mm-hmm.
And
or Arrieta smack a home run off Bumgarner.
Yeah, right. There you go. But that's it. I mean, it's such a clear problem. Hitters are so much worse as pitchers. Sorry, pitchers are like so far away from any other hitter.
Easy, bro.
I don't, and like the idea of the strategy element, it's really so minimal. It's so small. So
as far as the manager side.
Oh yeah, it's like not nearly as much of like, okay, maybe there's a couple double switches a year per team.
Yeah.
Or like where you put them in the lineup, all that stuff. No. It really is just so overblown. And the other fact is that it will elongate players' careers. You have now 15 more teams that you can hit on because they need a DH. That's a good thing. That's very good. If you want to talk about pushing the mound back and making more offense, then add a DH.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Yeah.
That's 15 more teams with more offense instantly.
Yeah.
It just makes a lot of sense to me.
Especially if you're trying to speed the game up too, right? I mean, that would be logical because now you're not having to have that pinch hitter come in and then warm that guy up and then maybe take a mound visit to make sure the guy in the bullpen's warm. Or there's a lot of things that go into it.
I think it's inevitable. I think it helps both sides of it for the Players Association and the owners. It just seems like there's this old curmudgeon crowd that is against it. Sorry to insult people. Wow. I'm speaking ill. I speak ill, and it's weird to say that.
Oh, no.
But I feel that just as we keep going, it's going to be a natural conclusion that we have the DH in both leagues, and that's a very good thing.
Yeah. I mean, my big question, man, is do you think that the bullpen cart should be a thing?
No.
Oh, come on, man.
No. The bullpen cart. No, it's great. It's fine.
You're like, I really don't care.
I mean, if they wanted to, look, I would never take the cart myself. That's how it is. I think the cart kind of brings this, brings this clown nature to it that we don't need.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really mean that. The other 2 things, by the way, was that the home run derby winner receives receives $1 million. That's significant. That's nice.
Yeah, I think more and more people. I think more younger people are going to want to dive in on that. What do you got?
Right. I would love to have more people watch the home run derby. I love the home run derby, and the more serious we can take it, the better.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And the other one is that there's a quote election day to pick All-Star game starters. Love that.
Oh yeah, they're trying to do like how the NBA kind of does it.
Oh, I love it. I think that's great. It just brings more excitement to it. Those are good things. So, okay. All right. You had that bold prediction about the rule changes. I'll give you a more helium balloon.
I needed that, man. I was a little down in the dumps over here after that.
I forgot about these 2 things. The home run derby getting more exciting. That's a good thing. Election day. That's a good thing. That might work, especially with social media stuff, and that's always where it starts. So that's good.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. So I want to dive into some more kind of fantasy baseball targeted towards like your predictions. I want to know who, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot, man. I really do.
No, by all means, you're good.
Who do you got as far as like your surprise breakout stars for this year? Not so much breakout like they're young prospects, but just surprisingly really, really good seasons this year. And you can go AL and NL.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to go away from anyone that I have in my like top 40 or so. I think those names everyone's familiar with in the fantasy world, like Jameson Taillon, Mike Clevenger, Zach Wheeler, those kind of guys.
Right.
I'm going to go deeper, And some of my favorite ones, even I say Joe Musgrove, I think has been talked about a lot.
Ooh.
Shane Bieber has been talked about a lot.
I like Bieber.
So I'm going to push those guys aside. By the way, just about Bieber really quickly, do you agree with me at all? Or have you put any thought into him purposefully walking guys?
I think there's something to say.
Strike after walk.
Yeah, I think there's
Right?
I think there's something to say about being 2 in the zone.
Yes. 100%.
Absolutely.
It's wild to me, like that he. It's crazy. I never suggest a guy, hey, cool, walk more batters.
I don't. Yeah, I mean that's interesting because like I don't know if it's hey walk more guys. I just think it's like hey be somewhat. Yeah, I mean you've seen Bull Durham. Like I always refer to that. Like sometimes the hitter needs to be uncomfortable knowing that the guy maybe doesn't know that he's going down and away, down and in, or like perfectly putting the ball where he wants to.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Shane Bieber actually he had when he had at least 2 walks in a game, 50% of those games were 0 earned runs. When he had 1 walk or 0 walks in a game, only 1 out of 13 of those games did he allow 0 earned runs. I think there's something to be said about that. It's just pretty much the approach of trying to nibble and not just giving in to batters is really what that comes down to at heart.
100%. Yeah.
So, all right. So, obviously, it's kind of amazing that people have now understood what Matt Strom can do. I wrote a GIF breakdown piece in 2017 about the possibility of him breaking out in the Royals rotation, and then they signed Jason Hamill, and that never came to be. And I've been waiting so patiently for his opportunity, and it might come this year. It might not. We'll see. But it's cool to see that other people are getting a whiff of that. I think Justice Sheffield is going to surprise a lot of people in Seattle. New changeup. Well, it's not the new one, but he's been polishing it. Looked really good in spring training. I actually got to talk to him about a week ago. And even though they sent him down, I think he'll be up by the start of May, honestly.
Yeah.
And he could really have a fantastic year. 150 innings I could see with Sheffield. That could surprise a lot of people. Let's see here. I think Jeff Smarja coming back from injury.
Oof,
a lot of people are forgetting that completely. Yeah, I call him loose lips because an ineffective shark has loose lips.
That's so mean.
And he would also destroy teams. This is back when I had like a tumultuous relationship with Jeff Smarja. Now I'm on board. So hopefully loose lips, you can bring us there.
You're on the board.
Let's see. I'd say like the ultimate sleeper this year is Pablo Lopez on the Miami Marlins.
Huh. I haven't heard much of him.
He has 2 swing strike rate pitches of 16% or more. That is his changeup and his curveball. Generally, when we look at swing strike rates, if it's above 15%, that's when we're like thumbs up. This is good.
Right.
This is great. Has the opportunity to miss a lot of bats and earn strikeouts. Well, it is missing a lot of bats. That's why it's 15% or more. Then he also increases velocity so far in spring to about 2 ticks. There's like 96 miles per hour on that 4-seamer that he's jamming really effectively to right-handers and keeping down away. Good command on it. So I think he's so close. Just one little tweak of polish, really.
Yeah, the stuff's there.
His repertoire, and this could be a very good breakout year for Pablo Lopez. Just a question of is he going to be in that rotation? There's Caleb Smith coming back. He had a really impressive outing yesterday, 4 innings against the Cardinals. And we don't really know if he's going to be in or not. And if Lopez is, I really hope Lopez gets the opportunity. I think he can surprise a lot of people this year.
Yeah, they'll give him an opportunity at some point. I mean, especially if the stuff is there, like you're saying. Like, dude, 2 ticks. I mean, is it 2 ticks above his average from 2018?
Yes.
Okay.
It was 94 to 96 is what we're seeing so far. That's from Eno Saris article on The Athletic. I hope I'm quoting that right, but it's significant.
That is. I mean, dude, especially just from a year jump. That's
right.
Do you got Alcantara in that rotation?
Oh man, I don't out of the gate.
Okay.
It's because Straley and Chen exist, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I don't care about them anymore. I want them to go to the wayside because you have Caleb Smith, you have Jose Urena as well, you have Trevor Richards.
Oof. Richards.
Urena is okay. So Richards has this great changeup and terrible fastball. And it really bothers me. I think he's the second coming of Jeremy Hellickson, which is not a good comparison to have.
Hey, Hellickson's making a nice little comeback here, I think.
For fantasy purposes, you don't really want to trust Hellickson.
Yeah.
But maybe. I mean, if you follow the roundup, I actually call him the devil, which is really bad. But it's because he has one great start and then one terrible start right after. So you bring him into your village thinking he's great, and then he burns it down.
I just think like with that in the rotation that he's in, there's like no pressure on him.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's a good point.
Something to be said. I don't know. Maybe.
But yeah, so about Alcantara, I think that right now he's I think he's out at the moment.
First one up
but
in the rotation?
Okay, so he's kind of 7th right now. Yeah. That's the problem, is that you have Reina, Chen, and Straley 100%. Trevor Richards, I'd say 90%. So that's 4. Then you have 3 pitchers for that 5th spot. As we mentioned, Pablo Lopez, Caleb Smith, and Alcantara.
Yeah.
So the Marlins aren't going to be competitive either. There's no real rush necessarily. I think they're just going to eke out all they can from Straley and Chen. Mm-hmm. And then whenever people get injured, because that's what always happens, then you'll see Alcantara late this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like Alcantara because I was with him in the Cardinals organization. He's got, I mean, his own, dude, he's a guy that's just like effortless, man. It's something special to watch in person.
It's about that third pitch and
it really
the command
is.
of that fastball.
Yeah, fastball command. He's had a couple good. I think what it was his like first spring training outing, he did really well, and then I think his second one he got lit, and then his third one it was pretty decent. I remember watching him live one game. I mean, we won't know until we know, right? That's why baseball season's so dang exciting.
So wonderful. I love it.
So now that we got the surprises out of the way, let's go with the surprised. Like opposite of good. So the surprise bad performers, yeah. The bad the underperformers for this year based on, you can say like contract, you can say like from their year last year, you can kind of culmination of all that.
Sure. I think a lot of people are expecting too much from Madison Bumgarner personally. Okay, so you can attest this, is that I generally don't go for slingers. Guys that have lower arm angles, because it generally means that the timing you have to get and to place it where you want is harder to achieve than if you're going north to south in your delivery. Mm-hmm. So you see this from like Jake Arrieta. He had this extreme arm angle thrown across his body all the time. And he had that feel for, I guess, 2 seasons or so. Yeah. And since then, he's just lost it. He can't get the same locations on his slider. His sinker's all over the place. It's just not the same. And I think with Madison Bumgarner, he had this feel for so long. He was just pitching 200 innings. It was just complete routine. And all of a sudden now he has the ATV injury. He had the injury last year, the comebacker. And he just hasn't – he's not locked in anymore. And it's really hard to get that back.
Yep.
I don't trust that Madison Bumgarner is going to be able to be that same workhorse. Not to mention, he never was one of those elite strikeout arms. Right. He was getting up there. He was pushing it by the end. I think that was in 2016, if I remember correctly. He was starting to push a 9+ K per nine, maybe even close to 10. But over the course of his career, he was never that massive 30% strikeout guy. Yeah, it just wasn't Madison Bumgarner, and that's how we equate elite pitching now.
Yep.
And it's not that. So I think there's obviously baked in risk now, but I think a lot of people are taking him, imagining he can turn into a top 15 starter again, and I don't personally think that he can attain that again.
Yeah, I think there's something to be. Yeah, I would agree. I think because I'm a Bay Area guy, so like I kind of grew up like watching them. But there might be something to be said about having 3 rings within your first 5 seasons. Because he got a ring in 2010, right? Like he came up, or was it was his first one in 12?
No. I think 12. I think 12 was his first.
Okay, yeah.
I might be wrong.
He's gonna. Yeah, he's gonna.
I'm not.
Well, I'm like trying to remember that 2010 team, and I want to say because I'm thinking of all the starters.
No, he was on it. He was on it.
He was right.
He was on it. 18 starts. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So 3 rings in his first 5 seasons, and no matter what. He's going to be the name that we mention when we talk about World Series performers, like the greats.
Right.
And there's something to be said when it comes to pitching is like, dude, you got to show up every 5th start. And like, you can have all the talent in the world. If you don't show up with like this bulldog mentality of like, let's frickin' go, dude, gas pedal, it's a different game. I don't care how much talent you have or what your stuff is, but it's different. That's a good point. Would you have a position player that you want to throw out there? Underperformer?
Oh, a position player. Oh man. Let's see here. I think. That's a great. Okay, Alberto Mondesi is getting a lot of love for 2 months of production with terrible play discipline metrics, and that just instantly has me turning away. It's nice to see him go in the 6th, 7th round, which I think is somewhat reasonable considering that's when you normally would go for someone like that.
Yeah.
But I just see the 2 months. It's great, wonderful. He had a fun time and still wasn't as even during it. We all thought this was nuts. So to expect that for, I guess if you want 5 months, you'll give him 1 month off in a year, I think is still a little too outlandish for me. So I'm not expecting much from Mondesi this year.
I don't know why I just got this random thought, but what is like your team? Like, what team did you grow up like watching and rooting for?
I was 5 years old. I realized I wanted to be happy in life, so I became a Yankee fan and a Met fan. Growing up here in Brooklyn, New York.
I'm quoting that. That's going on the soundbite. That's hilarious. Oh, hey, what do you got on the Mets this year, though?
This is the thing. I keep telling people, like, hey, actually, they're not so bad. Like, yeah, that's what they always say. And that's true. I love Zach Wheeler.
Oh, dude,
I think Zach Wheeler.
I like your article about him.
Oh, yeah, right. And you actually, I think you had a nice sequencing thing from him, too.
Yeah. He's got stuff, dude. Oof.
It's unbelievable. And the crazy part is I actually initially last year wasn't so high because I guess when he was starting to do his thing, because he has 3 pitches, but none of them are above that 15% swing strike rate.
Is any of them close?
I mentioned before. But they're all 10 between 10 and 15.
Okay.
If that's a slider, curveball, and split change. Some say it's a splitter, some say it's a changeup. It's a split change.
Yeah.
And I want to see one pitch really soar, but he doesn't need to because his fastball really is that pitch. And he's such a good foundation, and he's able to throw those 3 pitches, those secondary pitches, all for strikes.
Mm-hmm.
So he has the variety in them. He's able to move them off the plate when he needs to. He has it all there. He doesn't really need that unreal pitch. If he does have that, I mean, we're talking top 10 starter.
Totally.
If he does develop that slider into being a 20% swing strike rate pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get there, but even so, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. So 3rd starter for the Mets, that's great. The only problem with them is that they don't have. I mean, I think Matz is going to get hurt again, which is really stupid. Well, it's pretty simple because he had success with the slider down the stretch last year.
Yep.
But he wasn't throwing it before. He was only throwing it around 6% of the time because he's actually come out and said that it hurts his elbow.
Right.
So he didn't throw it. But then he was having the worst season.
Yeah.
So he definitely had that moment of thinking, all right,
pick your poison.
I'm just got to do well. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And he did well down the stretch. It was only like 10 games, but he upped his slider usage to 15% during that time.
Yeah.
I don't expect him. I mean, it's going to be one or the other. Either you're going to get a small burst of successful Mats and then not for the rest of the year, or you're just going to have mediocre Mats the entire year. So that's a very big problem.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do at the end of that rotation. I think it's a very open hole that Dallas Keuchel should fill, or at the very least Gio Gonzalez. I don't understand why he hasn't been signed yet. But they got to figure that out if they want to be in any way competitive this year.
Totally. So who has a better overall record at the end of the year, the Braves or the Phillies?
It's going to be the Phillies.
Yeah. Are you predicting them to come out of the NL?
That's a great question. I don't want to because I love Aaron Nola. He's been a guy of mine for a very long time. Yeah. We have our shirts "Live Every Day Like It's Nola Day." He's our boy. I call him Easy A because of Nola, Big Easy, and it's like an easy A on your test.
Yeah,
no problem.
That was the best pitching matchup I've seen all spring. Was him and Flaherty.
Oh, that was so good. Flaherty was killing it,
dude.
He was. Oh man. Yeah. I'm not even that high on Flaherty. I think he has to work on a 3rd pitch more. But those were doing well on that spring training.
Right. Stuff. Yeah. 4 pitches.
And that was something else. But I guess the Phillies do. I mean, there's a lot of questions about the Dodgers. The Dodgers really should. It's just about health and making sure that the lineup is good enough.
Well, what do you got on Kershaw this year?
Yeah. Oh man, I can't tell you. I don't know.
I
The
yeah.
one that says that they know what to
Yeah.
expect is like you don't know.
Well, because everyone's got their
Ridiculous.
opinion on that kind of stuff. I don't know. So what
Right,
are
right.
your World Series predictions?
Oh man. Okay. So I'm gonna be ridiculous, but they are projected for the most wins, I think. So the Yankees against the, I guess the Dodgers.
Oh, sheesh. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
I'm
front
gonna be
runner.
that guy.
That's front runner prediction.
Well, yeah, but what do you want?
You want the
predictions
underdog
that I don't think
freaking
are actually
hot
gonna happen?
take, bold call that makes
All right, fine,
that's
fine.
clickbait. We need clickbait, man. We're
All right,
going
fine.
Orioles versus.
Fine. No, it's going to be Padres versus the Rays.
Oh man, hey, Rays are dude. Hey, don't sleep on the Rays. They're in the obviously the division there. I think they're gonna have a good year. I think they're gonna.
I mean, honestly, they are slated for the second wild card at this moment,
Oh, they are.
which is ridiculous. Pretty much. I mean, who else is going to get that second wild card? Okay,
The
so it's
A's?
not the Jays or the Orioles. It's not the Royals. It's not the Tigers. It's not the White Sox.
I'd say the A's. No.
Yeah, the A's, I mean, they didn't really improve, and they well overperformed last year.
Yeah, but they make moves. They make moves during the year.
They lost Sean Manaea as well.
Yeah, that's true. He's out for the whole year.
So, I mean, maybe with AJ Puck coming back and maybe Jarrell Cotton makes an impact too later on in the season as well. But I mean, that's a very, very weak pitching staff, and they're going to have to figure that one out. The Angels, I don't think that they're going to. The Angels always get hurt, and it's really sad and terrible, but that's the case.
Maybe that's the year.
The who?
I'm saying maybe it's the year that the Angels don't get hurt.
Right.
And they surprise everyone,
yeah,
and then
maybe.
people actually know who Mike Trout is.
And what do you know? Skaggs and Heaney have already been hurt. So
Oh, dude. I think that
terrible.
could be a good 1-2 punch right there too.
I really think so too. I've been super high on him this entire preseason. Now I have to back off a little bit, which is really frustrating. But
Skaggs
So
is
it
hurt
is.
right now?
Right. Well, he threw a bullpen testing out a new pitch. I'm guessing is a cutter because he doesn't have a slider or a cutter.
Right.
And he had forearm fatigue that shut him down.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe just don't throw that pitch, I guess, and he'll be fine. They said he's okay. It was precautionary, all that stuff, but I don't know.
Right.
You always have to have your worry a little bit.
Yeah, I had him on one of my segments on. I do like a nastier 2-pitch sequence where it's like one at bat, 2 pitches per the at bat, like who's nastier, and I kind of team up with guys. And I think it was his outing
Sure.
against Chicago, dude, and he was. I mean, he had some sequences in there that. I mean, flashes. Obviously, he's always had the plus curve.
Right.
His fastball velocity, because when I played with him in Arizona, he was like up to like 95. Like he was throwing hard, and then he lost it for a little bit, but now he's got it back. I think he's kind of up there again, right? Wouldn't you say he's up like 2 to 4 maybe with his fastball?
Well,
velocity?
he's like a 92 or so now, but he's elevating it.
Yeah, which is great. I think data analytics is
Amazing.
going to help him because I mean
Yeah,
he's like
100%.
6'6" and he releases it from like 7'12". Yeah, I'm a fan. I think he could be really good. Obviously, being left-handed helps. So I apologize, man, but we're cutting into the hour. I should probably let you go and be respectful of your time. But I want to get one more thing from you, and I want to close the show on what your Cy Young predictions are for this year, AL, NL.
Oh, this is fun. All right, I'm gonna go with Trevor Bauer.
That's mine, man. Come on.
I have him at 5 as my starting pitching rankings. I'm so high on Bauer.
So 10 Ks and 4 1/3 or 4 2/3 yesterday.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Sheesh. Unreal.
Oh man, he's figured out his changeup too. Because why not?
Yeah.
Call it the cookie change, as he says, being
cookie
Carlos
pitch.
Carrasco's pitch. For the NL, that's
Don't
an
you
interesting
take mine,
one.
dude.
All right, well, I'm not going to say DeGrom or I'm not going to say Scherzer. I won't say Nola because that's fun, but I won't do that. Oh, come on, who is it? I just got to look really quickly.
Cheater.
Well, no, I'm just I haven't been asked this yet. I haven't thought about it.
Mine was Bauer and Nola.
Okay, well, I understand Nola completely.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, for the hell of it, Jameson Tyone.
Wow, hot take.
I think he can take. Well, the thing about Tyone is that with that slider, he becomes just a super good pitcher.
Good lateral movement on that too. Wow.
It's the exact complement he needed with a good fastball. I think a lot of people forget is low to mid 90s.
Oh yeah.
He can push that pitch even to like 96, I think.
Oh yeah.
And then a big curveball, a big one that if he sits that low in the zone all the time and then has a slider sitting inside the zone and then off of it often, he can be very successful this year. I think from May 27th on, he had about a 2.70 ERA.
Oh yeah.
And that May 27th is when he introduced that slider.
Yep.
So another year.
Dude,
he can even take a step further from that. I think it's possible here for Tyone.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I think he had one particular sequence. I forget who it was against the Twins lineup, but it was like starting off with a banger, 0-1, went to a two-seam in. I mean, you probably made a GIF on it. But yeah, like the two-seam. Because people forget that, dude, his two-seam's disgusting. And if he's complimenting that two-seam with that slider, yes, it's nasty. Yeah, and he's just a big dude. I think he's going to be a guy that can definitely handle, your 200+ inning workload guy. So, big fan.
100%.
Yeah. Nick, I want to be respectful of your time, man. But, dude, thanks so much for coming on and totally just geeking out with me, man. That was an absolute blast. Real quick, would you mind telling my audience where they can find you as far as where you are on the Google machine?
Sure. And first of all, man, this is a ton of fun. We got to do this again.
Absolutely.
You can find me on Twitter at PitcherList. Check out our site, pitcherlist.com. Also, we do have an Instagram at PitcherList as well. It's really simple. It's just PitcherList everywhere.
Thanks for making it easier on me, man.
At least I can do.
Right. Love it, dude. Well, hey, thanks again for coming on, man. It's an absolute pleasure. I'll sign you off the air. All right, guys, that's another episode of The Robbie Rowe Show. Appreciate you guys for tuning into this episode. If you liked it, let me know. Leave a review. 5-star is always great, right? Especially when it's out of 5 stars. I guess it wouldn't be great if it was out of 10. 5 stars out of 5. Those are always fun. I'm not begging for like a 5, but at the same time, that would be cool. Anyways, appreciate you guys. And if you ever want to contact me, like I said in the beginning of the show, I gave you my email address now. If you ever want to contact me, it's literally contactrobbierowe@gmail.com. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's any podcast topics that you want to hear about. Let me know if there's any guests that you want me to bring on, and I'll reach out and try to do my part to get them on the show. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you guys here within the next 24, maybe 48 hours. All right. Much love, guys. God bless. Talk to you.